Join the Craig Levitt Show Sunday evenings from 7 to 8 p.m. on 50,000 Watt News Talk 720 KDWN. The Craig Levitt Hour will be about living the American dream and empowering the American spirit. Sundays, 7 to 8 p.m.
Which way, America? Which way, America? Which way, America? Which way to go? This is my country and I want to know which way America is going to go.
Hey, good morning, my friends. It's Wednesday morning.
I think that's right.
It's Wednesday morning, and this is Craig Levitt with Chris Finnegan, and we're here with Craig Levitt Show, welcoming you to our show today. Yesterday, I guess I got a little wound up. I got a Facebook post from a listener yesterday that indicated that maybe, just maybe, I went just over the line just a little bit. I made fun of President Obama, and I'm probably going to do it again, but if I was offensive to anyone when I called him Ahmud, I apologize. I was just having some fun with you. Yesterday was an election day, and some interesting things took place. For example, over to our neighboring state in Utah, Mia Love became the first Black Republican congresswoman since the beginning of the party 160 years ago. So that was a historical milestone. And we certainly want to congratulate Mia Love for her historic accomplishment. That is pretty cool. Took 160 years.
Wow.
For a Black woman to become elected by the Republican Party to the House of Representatives. Anyway, way to go, Mia.
Way to go.
I wonder if her children call her Mama Mia. Mama Mia. And I wonder if that's who ABBA was singing about when they sang that song, was Mama Mia. Anyway, I wanted to start today's show with a little bit of just a thought. America is the greatest country on the face of the earth. And yet in the news and almost through all of the media, America's taken a pretty hard beating in the last little while. And we make fun of our politicians, and some of them you just can't help it. But others, we're always in there noticing what is not being done rather than applauding what is being done. And I was thinking that when this country first got started, our founding fathers had a brilliant idea. You read the Constitution, the President of the United States was the one that got the most votes. The Vice President was his most bitter adversary who got the second most votes. And so you had, for example, if we did that today, Barack Obama would be the president, Mitt Romney would be the vice president. Can you imagine how that would work?
That would be interesting.
I mean, wow. So the point is that the thing that keeps America strong is not our unity, it's our diversity. And it's not our everybody saying the same thing, okay, well, we'll go along with whatever. The thing that keeps the American system on its toes is a loyal, aggressive, and rabid opposition. Now, these poor people that got elected yesterday, and by the way, congratulations to the Republican Party who stepped in and picked up control now, both of the House of Representatives and the Senate. And now they're on the hot seat, because if they don't do everything they promised, well, they're going to lose the Senate again in 2 years, and the White House will remain Democratic. So anyway, the point I was making is that it's a good thing for us to engage in good, hearty debate. I heard a saying one time, Christopher said that if two people agree on everything, one of them isn't necessary. And so that's what it is. We make fun of those who are in power and we forget those who lost. I mean, you know, right now, if I were to ask everybody, okay, who was Mia Love's opponent? Most of them go, who? And yet yesterday it was the hottest thing, you know, in the media. So anyway, it's our differences that make us a strong country. And I have been told, Christopher, I've been told by a lot of people that I'm the most different person they've ever met. And so having me around is what makes our country strong.
There you go.
Well, I got to tell you, folks, it was fun yesterday, kind of getting out on a limb and dancing around, because really, we're nonpartisan. We just don't care who's doing what, as long as what they're doing is what they were elected to do and that they're fulfilling their promises. And we don't care what hat they wear, nor do we care what animal they ride down the street on the parade, be it a donkey or be it an elephant. Or whatever symbol the green tea people have. I don't know what theirs is.
The green tea people?
Yeah, the green tea. I mean, what do they ride down the parade? A teapot. I don't know. Anyway, so we're getting off our political bandwagon. I had an interesting call from a listener of ours in California. And she was concerned about our Operation Luck. You remember that lady, and it was a great call. And help me if I make sure I get this right. Her contention was that people, veterans, and others who are not employed or not making the money they should need to have some kind of government help in order to do that, to make a difference in their life. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a horrible mindset, especially for people that have been in the military.
You know, when you say that, you know who jumps into my mind? My good friend Percy Wood at P-Dub's Ribs and Soul Food in the Boulevard Mall on Maryland Parkway in Las Vegas. In fact, I talked to him last night. That guy, we didn't need an atomic weapon to win World War II. All we had to do was let him loose for about an hour and a half. That guy's got more energy. He's got more get up and go. And he dreams of things that others would be far too timid or even frightened to dream of. And just love the guy. Besides that, he's a veteran that is a recipient of the Bronze Star for heroism. I think I've said that every day since we've had our radio show, both during the daytime and on Sunday evening. This guy's Bronze Star for bravery and heroism. And folks, you don't have to be brave or heroic to eat his barbecue ribs. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you go to the Boulevard Mall, into the food court there, they're on Maryland Parkway, go to the food court and walk down and wrap your taste buds around some of his ribs with his own unique barbecue sauce. Oh, man. Then you'll understand why this guy is so powerful and just so dynamic. He'll make you love his lunch. And if you haven't had soul food before, you need to try some of what he's got, because it's really good. I was talking to P-Dub or Percy last night a little bit about a program that we're supporting through the Veterans Memorial Association, which is tied to People Helping People now. It's 501(c) charity, because there are veterans who have nowhere to go if they want to get into a management level position or start their own business. There are educational packages that are offered through the VA, the Montgomery Bill, and a few things like that. They can go back to school, but to some people who have specific interests in a specific field like computers or electronics or commission sales or things like that, there really aren't any great programs. Well, the Veterans Memorial Association is allowing people to help, so that if somebody wanted to attend your school, for example, Christopher, that there would be money there to help get them until they were in a position to where they could start working with on-the-job training and doing those kinds of things. VA won't pay for that, but that's what the Veterans Administration, the Veterans Memorial Association is trying to achieve. So if you want to go to the Craig Levitt show.com page, you'll just see a little thing that says that you can contribute, or you can go visit the Veterans Memorial Association.com page and contribute a couple of bucks there. We are trying to raise $20,000 in the next 60 days to help get this program on its feet and going and funded, because we have students that want to jump in and have some on-the-job training. So if you see a contribution page, it's for that.
I think that's a grand thing to do.
Well, it is.
It is.
And we certainly want to tip our hats to those who do anything that they can to help our veterans. While we're on the idea of talking about some of our friends, it's getting close, friends, you men, it's getting close to the holidays. You know, and I know you're going to buy jewelry for your wife. You know, and I know. Okay, now they have auction prices at Iceberg Diamonds. I told you about that yesterday, and I think I did a great job. But if you're still saying, if I take that much money out of our bank account, the wife's going to find out. And then she'll know how much I paid. Well, let me tell you what. They have financing programs available at Iceberg Diamonds. Just go in, ask for Andy Padre, ask for Ali or Dee or any of them in there, and they'll help you. And if you need to go into the back room and talk to them because your wife's out in the mall and you don't want to see, have her catch you there at Iceberg Diamonds because you'll know what you're up to, they'll accommodate you. They're that kind of people. Lately, we've been talking about our friends in Mesquite, Nevada. Now, Mesquite is almost a Norman Rockwell type of a community. You got great people. You got a quaint little community, and everybody knows everything about everybody else. But besides being just a social community, it's just a great place to live. It was colder than a well digger's parakeet yesterday up in Utah, and down here, we're still needing antiperspirant deodorant because it's still warm enough, that you kind of need to do that. Well, we love Mesquite. In fact, there's a couple of places here that there's a McDonald's right down there by the Casablanca. Doesn't that mean White House? Anyway, the Casablanca, and they are the nicest people I have ever been around. They're just great. And there's Terrible Herbs? Okay, they got this gas station here that they have all over Las Vegas too. I think it's called Terrible Herbs or Terrible Herbies or something. Anyway,
something like that. But
you go in their little convenience store, and they're just so sociable and people-oriented. And then, of course, you've got the Maverick, and you've got the grocery stores here in town, Smith's and others, and it's just a great little community. Everything you could ever want, almost everything you could ever want, you can get in Mesquite, Nevada. And then they've got the Eureka and the Virgin River resorts down here, and they're so cool. And of course, they've got Casablanca. And the food here in Mesquite is comparable to any meal that I've eaten in Las Vegas or San Francisco or anywhere else. I mean, these people here put together a feed, and they got world-class chefs that work here. And, okay, are you guys ready for this? During the weekend, you go into where they have these great big televisions and you can watch football, or I don't know why people watch NASCAR, because all you have to do is put a patch over your right eye and watch as all the cars make left-hand turns with your left eye. You don't even need to tire your right eye out. But they have all these televisions over there, and it's really cool. And you can ask one of the people, are you going to play the University of Utah Oregon game? Well, they'll do it. They'll program it in and it'll come up. Do you know what? Okay. You know what they do at those casinos when you go in and you're going to watch a football game? It's the coolest thing. If it's the Casablanca, they have a hot dog cart. Yeah, right there where you're watching TV. And it's the coolest thing. And so you can slip over and, 2 red hots, get your red hots, give me 2 of them over. And they don't throw them. You have to actually get up and walk over to this hot dog cart. And then they give you your 2 hot dogs and you go sit down and you eat them, just like you're at the game. In fact, it's like going to a football game and you sitting down and watching a bunch of little 3-inch midgets play the game. Because, they have these big screen TVs, but you got your hot dog right there. And they have mustard. Those of you who like ketchup on a hot dog, you need therapy. And I would suggest you start it as rapidly as possible, because the only condiments you should put on a hot dog are mustard, maybe a little relish, and sauerkraut. By the second half, nobody wants to sit by you. You've eaten these 2 hot dogs loaded, And then about after the halftime, I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden I've had 4 hot dogs because I can't have. Oh, and you put onions on them. Did I say onions before the sauerkraut? Yeah, they have onions. Mustard and relish and onions. Oh man! And then sauerkraut on top. And I had 4 of those, and I'm watching the game, and there's a lot of people around me, and I'm chomping away, And I noticed that about 10 minutes later, after I had finished, and I don't know the cause of this evacuation, I was sitting all alone. There weren't people within 10 yards of me watching the same game. They had all bunched up in little groups, and occasionally some of the people would look at me, because you can't eat hot dogs, mustard, onions, and sauerkraut with relish in there somewhere without getting a tummy bubble. Apparently I got those. Anyway, so I figured if I want a place to sit, a good seat from now on, I go to the hot dog stand, I stand behind wherever it is I want to sit, and I eat my hot dogs with mustard, relish, onions, sauerkraut, and within about 10 minutes, I can have whatever seat I want. And and here's the neat thing. They have those kinds of things, hot dog stands, at every one of the casinos. Except over at the Eureka, it has a sign that says hot dogs and then an arrow pointing way away from the crowd. So you have to actually walk to a different location and get your hot dogs. And then you come back, and people who know that's what you went to do have already moved. So it has the same, practical purpose. And then those of you men now who can't stand to watch any kind of an athletic event without drinking beer, well, it's a bar. So they have those things, and pretty soon those people that imbibe and yell and scream and are obnoxious pass out and they drag them out in the parking lot. So anyway, we just absolutely love what we get to do here in Mesquite. And I promise you, when you come to Mesquite, you're going to have fun. You're just going to have a great time. You're going to have a great time because this is a great place, right?
It's a fantastic place.
There's real estate here.
There is lots of it.
Yeah, and there are developments here where people can actually buy a lot and build a house.
Yeah.
Now, you people in Las Vegas, you can either be good Nevadians, Navadonians, Navadarians, Nadathiuses, citizens of Nevada, and come up here to beautiful Mesquite, Nevada, and buy a lot or two and build a house and just get, or because if you don't do it, the snowbirds are going to get here and they're going to do it. And then Mesquite will be filled with a bunch of people who are only here to get away from snow. And as soon as the snow leaves in March, April, or if you're up in central Utah, July, then you go ahead and move back home. We had a friend. This is so funny. This lady is the most incredible person I have ever met. She owns a candy store, and she has come up with candies that, if they don't have those in heaven, there is absolutely no reason to go there. And she had a house that was just decorated so beautifully, and they took off and went on a little snowbird extended vacation. And when they got back, raccoons had crawled down their chimney and had torn the house apart. Their beautiful furniture had been ransacked by raccoons. And I suppose because they wear masks, the raccoons have that little black mask, that possibly they could have been arrested and thrown in the pokey, but they weren't. And they just ripped this house to shreds. They took one look at it, and I think they just said, heck with it, and they sold the house as is, where is, and whoever bought the house had to clean everything out. Anyway, what a deal. But Mesquite belongs to Nevada, and you folks down there, we're going to start getting you some people to come up here and see. I mean, real estate agents, restaurants that you can eat at, other than those in the casinos, and they got some good ones here. Now, listen, I know a good restaurant when I smell it. Because, see, you can walk into a restaurant and it's decorated beautifully. It looks like, it's downtown New York, or Chicago or some other place that's famous for restaurants. And it looks the same, but the food stinks. See? So you can go into another place that's old, there's rafters caving in, and it's been around for like 100 years. But you get a whiff of that smell of that food, and right there, that's where you want to be. So we're going to give you the names of some of those people that you can come up and see in restaurants where you can eat and have a little bit of fun right here in Mesquite. How far is it from Las Vegas to Mesquite, Christopher?
It is a very brief 80 miles. You can make it in an hour if you're driving at a normal speed, or 45 minutes if you'd like a police escort.
And they have those too. Anyway, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to do a little something tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. And I want you to be prepared for it, because we're going to talk about people who have started with nothing and through pure luck have made money-making businesses, have created jobs, and have made it possible for people to go to work and earn money to support their families. And we're going to talk about people who have great ideas and people who had really dumb ideas that worked. All of that we're going to talk about at some length tomorrow and Friday, because as Christopher's going to tell you, what he says is if you want to be successful in America,
You got to be prepared.
got to have good luck. And what is luck?
Preparation meeting opportunity. That's good luck.
Yeah. See, if you're prepared, and we say that through the Veterans Memorial Association, you can get on-the-job training in a field that you love, and you begin to learn and grow. Then when a good opportunity comes by, you're prepared for it. Boom. You're the one that all the poor people are going to start hating. But I would rather be hated because I'm successful than hated because I'm ugly.
Well, be hated for both. I mean, while you're going for it.
I'm not sure what your point is. So we're going to talk about some people like that and have some fun. And in the midst of our fun, we're also going to be really serious. Serious as a heart attack. And if somebody out there has just had a heart attack or knows somebody that has, didn't mean to be offensive. It's amazing how you got to apologize for everything you say when you say it.
You have to apologize for things before you say it these days.
Yeah, I used to wait. If I was dating a girl, I'd wait until I got slapped before I, started apologizing. and anyway.
Now you get prepared pre-slap.
Yeah, it's coming, so I'm just kind of ready. I wake up every morning slapping both cheeks, and why are you doing that, Dad? Well, because sometime today I'm going to get whacked, and I want to just make sure I'm okay. I think that Americans have to wake up, and they have to realize that America is the land of opportunity. It is not the land of immediate success.
Or freebies.
Or freebies. That's not part of the deal.
It's not. It
No.
never was.
Never was. But for every person in America today who is able to understand what I am saying, okay, so that means you people who are as old as I am, people who are older than I am, people who are lots and lots older than I am but can still understand what I'm saying, there is an opportunity out there with your name on it. And if you're not prepared and ready to take advantage of that opportunity, well, it very well may go to somebody else.
Most certainly will.
Now, if there's an opportunity out there with your name on it, and you're not adequately prepared, when that preparation meets opportunity, what are you going to have?
Bad luck.
Bad luck. See, there's good luck, bad luck.
And we create both.
See, did you hear that? Say that again.
We create both.
Yeah, because we create the environment in our mind to become prepared, and we're the ones that have to do the work to be prepared. And then sometimes we create that opportunity. Or there's an opportunity out there, and we get our eye on it, but we're not prepared for it, so we start working and working and working and working and working until we're prepared for that opportunity.
And most people prepare for their bad luck, and then they're surprised when they get it.
Yeah. Can I tell you about my dad? They say the three things you never talk about when you're doing a radio show is you never talk religion or politics or personal stories.
Whoops.
But my dad was a great guy. He wanted his whole life to be in real estate. He wanted to have his own real estate company. This was up in Salt Lake City, Utah. And for his life, he rose to great levels of management in the trucking industry and other things, but he just really always wanted to be in real estate. Well, if you want to get into something like real estate, you have to go through a certain period, pass a bunch of tests, and then you have to go through, it's not an apprenticeship, but you go through a period of time where you have to work for a broker, and then you're able to get whatever it is, and then you can take an exam and become a broker. But Dad wanted to become a broker and have his own real estate company. And he gave up one day. He got offered a job with his trucking company. And a lot of money. And all the family was, yes, we'll be rich. And then we're reminded that he was getting the opportunity, not us. But he came home, and my mom, who was a registered nurse and absolutely incredible at all that she did in that field, and she was great. Dad said, here's the offer that they've made me. And it was about 10 times what the normal salary, managerial salary was at that time. About 10 times. And Mom said, well, are you going to take it? Dad said, I don't want it. I don't want this opportunity. There's another opportunity out there I really want, and it isn't this one. I mean, it's taking care of our family. We've got a roof over our nice roof, and lots of food and clothes, and we were doing good, doing very well. And he said, no, this opportunity is here, and I can have it, and I will make a lot of money. But that's not the opportunity that I see. I mean, Henry David Thoreau said, if a man is out of pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a distant drummer. Let him march to that pace that he hears, however measured or far away. And Dad said, there's something else I want to do. This is in my lap. Because the guy that was offering this incredible job opportunity was sitting in the front room of our house. And Mom said, well, Don, because that was my dad's name, I don't want to get you mixed up. We called him Dad, she called him Don. We called her Mom, he called her Cherry. A whole different, hierarchy here. He says, well, Don, you do what you think you want to do, and I'll support you. I'll work. I'll do it. I'll keep what you want me to do to help you, but you go do it. You fulfill your dream. I'm there with you. And she was. And I got to tell you, without Mom's support, Dad would never have been able to do the things that he did. Especially when he walked out to the front room and he told the guy, he said, I sound like so the man says, he says, and he says, he says, my dad turned to this man and he said, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to turn you down. And not only am I turning you down for this advance, this is my notice that I'm leaving the company. We got a new carpet after that because the man's jaw, his chin, hit the carpet. And he dragged that chin, drooling all the way out the door in surprise, and it tore up some of the carpet. So we had to get a new carpet. And after he left, Dad looked at Mom, and that was the first time I seen on my dad's face and in his eyes the look of terrified excitement. Any of you that have started your own business understand the term terrified excitement. Because when you do your own thing, there are no guarantees. You're on your own, and you are either
prepared or you're not.
And if you're not prepared,
you're in big trouble.
Then the opportunity will say, whoa, goodbye. Yeah.
And bad luck will be your friend.
And regrets and heartache.
Yep.
So that very next morning, my dad drove our new car down to the trucking business because it was a company car, turned it over to those people. Now, I think this was in about 1962, 61, 62. And he picked up for our family vehicle an old Pontiac that was made of solid steel, and except having a gun coming out of the hood, could have been a tank. And he drove that, and that was our family vehicle, and we were grateful for it. And then he went down to a man who had a real estate company. His name was Glenn Young, and he had AAA Realty in Salt Lake City, Utah. And Dad said, "Well, I want to become a realtor, and I want to become a broker." And so this Glenn Young said, "Well, you start out as a salesman. You'll be my salesman, strictly on commission." Now, the night before, Dad was offered a salary. Money was guaranteed, and he even got paid vacation and sick leave. Guy says, "You're on strict commission. If you make a sale, you make money. If you don't have anything. So you're not given a per diem. You're not given any kind of a base plus." So my dad said, "That's fine." So Dad studied for a little while because you had to take a state test. So he took the state, and he passed it. He became a real estate salesman, and you had to be a salesman for 1 year before you could apply to be a broker. So Dad set about to learn the real estate business. Now, this was back at a time, folks, in the early 60s when the annual income, the average income in Utah was right around $3,500 a year. I remember in 1965, the Cadillac Coupe de Ville and the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray were $5,000. And if you were driving around in one of those, you were considered, the big money. So Dad went from the night before, being offered $48,000 a year to working on commission sales.
Wow.
But he worked harder than a railroad crew laying down track, and he learned the business, and he was a natural salesman. And a year later, he became the broker of Leverett Realty Company. And he became the largest producing real estate company in the Salt Lake Valley, and therefore in the state of Utah. He was really something. Now, the reason I brought this out is he had an opportunity, but it wasn't the opportunity he wanted. And he was prepared for the opportunity he was about to, he could have received, but he didn't want it. And so he began preparing himself for the opportunity that he did want. So that when finally the day came that the opportunity to become a real estate broker approached, and he was adequately prepared, and they met, he had the best possible luck you could ever imagine. And he had a phenomenal business. Okay. When we talk about Operation Luck, we are saying, if you're in a job that you don't like, but it pays the bills, but it's not what you want, then with courage and with conviction and with a lot of hard work, you can actually do what my dad did. Find an opportunity you want and grow into it and be happy and successful. So if you don't have a job, prepare for one and get one. Now, by the way, there's a lot of kids in school who are working on their second, third, fourth, or fifth degree, because as long as they're in school and they get grant money or they get scholarships or they get something else, they don't really have to worry too much. They're perpetual students. Very few of them ever do any good. But I am telling you that if you're willing to go out, look for an opportunity to learn from somebody like Chris Finnegan here, if you want to learn how to work on computers, build computers, program computers, fix computers, and you want to do something like that, then hook up with Christopher and let him get you working on the job. Because when you're working on the job, you get to not only learn the basic things, you get to learn
all the things you need to learn to be successful in the job that you want to have, the career you want to have.
Yeah. And by the way, those of you that go to a trade school, a tech school, or some other community program to learn these things, that's all well and good. And you'll learn the basics, and that's fine. But the way you learn how to make a business out of something is to join with somebody who's made a business out of it and then get on with it and begin to build your own life and to fulfill the parameters of your own dream. Now, I'm going to embarrass Christopher here. Of course, I do anyway.
Nothing new there.
But Christopher has about as much fun working with me as taking off all of his clothes and rolling around in a cactus patch. He'll do it if he has to, but this isn't where his love is. So, Christopher, where is your love?
Oh, my God, what a question. Honestly, I'm not sure where my love is.
I don't mean that love. I mean, what is it that you really like to do?
Well, I certainly like to muck around with computers.
Now, when he says muck around, let me tell you what he'll do. He'll go out and find a computer. I gave him one time that I guess believed it was entitled to government benefits because it stopped working on its own. So I said, well, I'm going to either throw this thing away or do you want it? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, it doesn't work. And he says, oh, man, that's okay. I know what to do. So he took this old thing that was really going to just be thrown away and he rebuilt it. And I'm sitting in front of it and it's helping us do this broadcast. Christopher loves to be presented with the challenge of understanding and fixing problems.
That's true.
And it doesn't matter if it's with something electronic, if it's computerized or something like that, he loves to look at it. I do the same thing, but when I do it, it's called staring. I'll stare at something that doesn't work and I'll go, yeah. He'll look at it, begin a diagnostic program in his mind, play with a few things, do a few things, go to the parts store, pick up a few parts, and pretty soon you have a brand new computer. He can do that, and he can teach anybody how to do it. He can teach me how to do it, except that, as I have said before, I am not the brightest bulb on the tree, and I would rather have people fix things of mine that are broken than to have me try to fix them and break them more. But that's what Christopher does. He'll analyze a problem and fix it. Now, there's a lot of people out there that you know that are just like Christopher. They like to do hands-on types of things that are rewarding in the sense that when you find out what you've done and that it works, there's a satisfaction there that is absolutely incredible. So Operation Luck is about you picking a dream, picking something you would want to do, and then prepare yourself for it. Now, you can say, yeah, but it costs money. Well, yeah, it does. Anything worthwhile, anything of any value costs money. But if you're going to invest your money, invest it in yourself. Get another job and use all the money you earn from that job to invest in preparing for meeting your dream. That's how people in America overcome unemployment. That's how people in America can leave a job that is confining and get into a job that is rewarding because it's something that they love to do. My dad loved real estate. Christopher loves electronics. And there ain't nothing out there that you plug in that he can't fix if it is broken. And if you tell him what you need, there's nothing that he cannot create or build up from scratch. And that's what makes him happy. Sit around with me, he looks at me and goes, oh, geez, this guy needs some therapy, and I'm sitting here helping him. But he designed our whole daytime radio show format. He put it all together. He's got a mixing board up on the screen that he's developed and worked with, and he does and that's the only fun he ever has. He has no fun sitting there listening to me, but he does have fun making things work, and that's what America's all about. Now, every president, every congressman that was just elected last night, all the senators are going to say, well, our number one job is to come up with jobs. We've got to firm up the economy. We've got to create jobs. Government can't create jobs. If any political figure says, well, I'm elected, I'm going to create jobs, vote for the other guy. Because this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. When somebody like Christopher gets an idea, puts together a little business for repairing, building, and working with electronics, he hires a couple of people to come in because he needs the help. He's so busy. That's what creates jobs. Not somebody standing in front of a podium saying, well, we used to have 18 million Americans out of work. And because of our great leadership, we now only have 15. We've created 2 million jobs. No, they didn't create 2 million jobs. 2 million people got off the unemployment payroll. And the government takes credit for creating a job. That's not how jobs are created. Jobs are created by Americans doing their thing and getting so successful they hire other people to help them. That's how you save the American economy. I mean, all this other rhetoric and bilge water you get from the Sunday morning television shows or from other political media is just, we're going to take credit for money we don't have to spend out for people who are unemployed. Private sector people built businesses and created jobs. And you might as well be one of those. You might as well be somebody whose problems are than somebody who extends the problem by taking benefits for not solving a problem.
I hope you want to be that person.
Now, we're not getting as much response on our pages, whether our webpage or Twitter or Tweeter or Facebook or anything else. So, Christopher, would you take a few minutes and again, just tell them how they can get in touch with us and how they can tell us what it is they want to talk about?
Well, I'll tell you what, the easiest way to find us online is just go to Google and Google us. Type in Craig Levitt Show and you can also go to thecraiglevittshow.com. That's THECRAIG LEAVITTSHOW.com. And that's a great way to see everything we're doing, to listen to this show, catch our live daily show, find out what's going to be on future shows, hear all of our past shows. And you can also give us a call and the number is listed on our website, but I'll give it to you as well. It's 3792. That's 775-238-3792. And you can call us or text us. There's a voicemail set up, so we don't answer. We'll still get your response. So feel free to contact us and let us know what you think.
Now, if it sounds like we're talking slower than I did yesterday, because my wife, I love that woman, but she told me I was going too fast, I was rambling, and I was out of control. So I promised her today I would speak slowly, articulate, enunciate, and try my best to stay in control. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, folks, it's been great to be with you today. And now tomorrow again, tune in and tell your friends, to tune in with us. And by the way, yesterday I gave everybody a question to answer for free lunch at P-Dubs. And that was, what is the premium, the premier, the numero uno right that people come to America to enjoy? Did you write that down? What is the number one right people come to America, whether it's legally, illegally, or dropped off from a spaceship? What is the number one right people come to America to enjoy? And if you'll send that in, even if you're one of our friends from California, we may figure out some kind of a prize for you. But I'm interested to see what all of you think is number one right.
But don't post it on Facebook, because then other people are going to see, so that's kind of cheating.
Well, I don't care if they cheat, but it might dilute the water a little bit so that your prize is, a bit watery. But it'll all be good. But anyway, thank you for being with us today.
And I'm Chris Finnegan.
And we're pleased to have had you with us today. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless me. Thanks.
Have a great day.
See ya.